The full spectrum.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting adventure of RollPlay Verona. I'm like completely frazzled because I just ran in here. I've been rebooting things and flipping switches and pressing buttons. I got Roll20 loading here, but everything is working now, and I'm in my chair. And look, it's an episode. Verona is happening. Hello. It feels like it's been a million years.
Hello.
Yeah.
Everybody has been everywhere since the last time that I saw you. I'm going to start with Anne this time because Anne, how was London, Anne?
It was very cold and not very pleasant, if I'm honest.
It's fair.
Okay.
Fair.
As a person from Southern California, I was like, here's the thing: is that you can tell who's from London and who's not, because people from London are wearing like light jackets and like maybe a scarf, no hat, no gloves, nothing. And I had a hoodie and like a North Face jacket. I had both hoods up. I was like this, like walking everywhere. It's like I'm extremely cold right now. So, but it was cool. It was my first time in London. I didn't have a lot of time there to see very much, but I think I was okay with it also, just because I went there for the phone company OnePlus was doing an event with McLaren, and so they had me come out there for that event. And then I just stayed for like an extra 2 days just to kind of check it out. But I think the scale of London kind of escaped me until I was there. And I realized that London is actually the same size as LA almost. I think London is actually a little bit bigger than LA. So I didn't realize that. But yeah, it was cool. I used the underground. That was awesome. It was just extremely cold. And I got sick.
I saw you tweeting. I saw you tweeting about appreciating the transit system, and I feel the same way. You don't really understand how good other cities' transit systems are compared to your own until you go there. You're like, yeah, the subway is fine and the bus is fine, and then you go somewhere like London or Tokyo, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I see how it is.
Yeah, I know. We're missing out. And I was like talking to my friends in Europe, and they were like, oh yeah, I can take a train. It'll take me like 2 hours to get there. And I'm like, how far is it by car? And they're like, oh, it's like 6 hours. Like, are you kidding me? I can't. If I drive to San Francisco, that's 6 hours. If I take a train to San Francisco, it's 9 hours. It's longer to take the train. So I was like so mad. I was like, if I could get to San Francisco in 2 hours by train, that would be amazing. Stupid America. So annoyed.
Hey, listen, Elon Musk is gonna solve everybody's problems by building
underground
tunnels. Yeah, he's gonna build tunnels. We got Hyperloop. It'll be fine. Self-driving cars, Hyperloop tunnels. Yeah.
To be fair, like at least 2 hours of that driving time is just trying to get out of London for most people. If you're trying to go from London to anywhere else in the UK, it's like at least an hour and a half to just get out of one city, but then you're fine. Because it's dumb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I was thinking about this, and it's nice that you had that extra time to like look around and do stuff, even though it was freezing. Because I think often what happens with events is you're scheduling them, and you're like, yeah, cool. I'll go for the event. I'll come home. You're like, oh, I flew all the way to London for 2 days, and now I'm going home.
Yeah.
You're like, should have just like done anything while I was there. I've done
always
that more
the
than once,
person-
and I finally learned it.
Yeah, I'm always the person who asks for extra time because I didn't get to travel a lot as a kid. Like, we just didn't really have the money for it or the time or anything like that. And so, like, when I had to go to Paris for the Rainbow Six Majors, the event was like 3 days. And I was like, cool, I'm going to stay for an extra 3 days just because like I'm not gonna fly 15 hours to get to Paris, go for the event, be jet lagged the entire time, and then immediately leave and not experience Paris, which is someplace that I've like always wanted to go to, right? And like even then, like I want to go back because I didn't get to like see as much as I wanted to. Fun fact: the Louvre Museum is closed on Tuesdays when every other museum in Paris is closed on Mondays. And guess what day I tried to go?
Damn it!
Yes,
when
Tuesday.
I went to Japan for the first time, I had a list of places that I wanted to go, and I got to see most of them. But there was a soba restaurant that I really wanted to go to. It was really highly ranked and everything, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go. And we went to the neighborhood it was in, and we started walking around looking for this place, and we went right to where it was supposed to be, and we were like, oh, it's not here. That's weird. We must be reading the map wrong. And we spent like an hour and a half looking for it. And we kept coming around, and we like kept ending up in the same place, which was this like space where there was like a building and then an empty lot and then a building. And the empty lot had a big burn mark up on the back. And we were like, So I Googled the name of the place, and in the news listings, the very most recent thing was 2 days ago, the restaurant had burned down. So I was like, God damn it. No. I just got here. If we had gone at the beginning of the trip, we would have gotten to go before the place burned down and we could never go again. But
yikes.
That must have been so inconvenient for you, Adam, that this person's business burned down. Their livelihood and their lives shook. But no, that's sad for you, Adam. I'm the internet. Fuck you, Adam.
Listen, dude, I'm the protagonist of my own life here, so I'm sure that they're fine. I'm sure that they have insurance, and if they don't, well, sorry. So
they might have even burned it down. Maybe the business wasn't as good as you might have thought, and they're just like
insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're suggesting it might have been a Yakuza plot of some kind, right? Okay, good. See, that's much more interesting than just it burned down and I didn't get my damn soba. It's much cooler if it was a Yakuza insurance scam. All right, I'm gonna tell. Next time I tell the story, Max, I'm gonna add the Max corollary and be like, I'm pretty sure it was owned by the Yakuza and they burned it down. Nice, good stuff. Good thought.
There's a guy smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
that was in all black.
It's tough. It's really tough, right? When you go to a place and you want to see everything, and then there are these things where it's just like, yep, this is how life is. Sometimes places are closed and you don't get to go. Well, it's an excuse. It's an excuse to go back and go to France and see the Louvre again.
Well, and the Louvre is like, I don't know how many people realize this, but the Louvre is huge. Like, if you want to see everything in it, it's like the largest collection of art. So if you want to see everything in it, you have to plan like multiple days to go there. So I really only had like the 1 day left. So I think it'll be a really good time to like go back and like actually be able to spend at least like 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the Mona Lisa from like a mile away, you know?
Yeah. Big crowd of people. Well, I mean, Mark, you can just go to any of these places anytime you want, right? Because of your excellent transportation system and your closeness to things like, I don't know, Paris.
Yeah, and still don't manage to do it.
But I think that's true too, right? Where if you live somewhere, like people in New York haven't gone to every New York thing that there is, right? Like if you travel to a place, you make time to see specific stuff. But if you live somewhere, usually you're like, like I'll get around to it.
I'll get around to
it. The Brooklyn Bridge is, it's right there. I'll go check it out eventually.
Yeah,
sometime. Yeah.
I did a day trip. Well, not a day trip. I went to Paris a long time ago, but I was with a bunch of people, and none of them wanted to go to the Louvre. We did go and see Notre Dame and the Eiffel Tower, and both of those were pretty cool.
What did these Philistines want to do? Like, why? What? I feel like it's a given.
You're gonna laugh. They went to an anime convention.
I am gonna laugh. That's great.
Yep.
Oh boy.
It was with a bunch of cosplayers, so they were going to an anime con out there, and so I was bag carrying guy number 4, and so I was hanging out with them, and then we had like a couple of days, and we just ran around and did a few touristy things. It was good, but yeah, it's totally that thing of when you live super close to stuff, and you just think, I'll get around to it. There's so much stuff in London like I'd never done. Like I only recently just went to St. Paul's Cathedral, which is really cool. And you can go to the top and you get amazing views around London. And even just the St. Paul's Cathedral itself is very, very cool. But I'd never been in like 30 years, or 15 years of, being around the place and just, never done it. But that's the way it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's a nice thing about it. It's a nice thing about having people come visit you too, because then you have an excuse to do that bullshit. Where you're like, I would never do this myself personally because it's super lame. But like, oh, you're coming to visit? Yeah, I will go with you and see all the lame stuff I would never do on my own, but I'm secretly really excited about. Yeah. Mark? What have you been up to? Anne's been traveling the world, but I heard you lamenting about your lack of traveling the world. What have you been doing?
Mainly we've been doing, so every December the Yogscast do a big charity stream called the Jingle Jam, which is they stream every day in December. And it's not just been me. I've done like 3 streams in there, but it's just around that. There's a lot of other stuff going on. There's a lot of social gatherings because we get a lot of the network come down to visit. So there's a lot of seeing people. Apart from that, just cracking on, working on some D&D stuff. Working on some adventures and some content, some like classes and races and stuff to go out. But yeah, not a lot really. Been playing a little bit of those new Smash. Been playing a little bit of that. Playing a bit of Path of Exile.
I feel like Smash. So Smash came out. Does anybody else here like play it? Is this a game that anyone? Because I feel like right.
Yeah,
like everybody's so. Yeah, everybody's so excited about it, but I'm just like it's cool that it's out, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it's I hadn't played it since well, it's because loads of people in the office picked it up because they got Switches, so a load of people picked it up, and I was like, I'll join in on this. I'll be a sheep. But I've been having fun with it. It's kind of like a harken back to playing it with my mates.
It's like when they did
you play it.
Sorry, they did the announcement at the Drop Frames. We were watching the Game Awards, and what was that character from? God, I didn't play the other game. That they like blacked out the screen. Everyone was like, "Oh no, what's happening?" Joker, right?
Joker,
yeah. I know, and everyone is like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And it's like this huge deal, and everyone's like, and I'm just like, I don't know who this is. I don't understand why this is like. I don't know why this is significant. Right. And I'm just like, wow, that was crazy. Did you guys see that? That person is in that thing now. Like, pretending I belong here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, look, it's that guy from that game that I don't play. He's in this other game I'm not going to play.
But everyone's excited, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that when they announced that Geralt is going to be in Monster Hunter. I was like, hey, I know Monster Hunter, and I know this guy, but like, I'm not the right people.
Even as a person who loves The Witcher, I don't really care about that.
I feel like we're living in this era of like everybody and everything as the dominant paradigm, where it's just like you can't just make a movie. You got to make a movie with everybody from all the characters from the IP. Like it's Marvel started.
Yeah, it's the cinematic universe. Thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah, and now it's just like there's like everybody from all the things.
There you go. There's the new idea for JP and Adam is the role-play cinematic universe. All of the different shows. You got to team everyone up at some point.
We were talking just last night about Court of Swords kart racing game. So, whatever. There's lots of room to just take all your IPs and smash them together. It worked out great for Blizzard. HOTS is doing super. They're making just shit tons of money. Big game.
I just realized you can't this entire time.
Yeah, you can't marvel it every time, unfortunately. But I've been noticing that a lot. That's just like a thing, and it's not just in movies. We're just starting to see more and more of this, like taking characters from a bunch of different stuff and putting them into one thing. I want to know when they're going to do like a Shakespeare cinematic universe. That's what I want. I want Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and King Lear all in the same movie.
And Bottom.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah.
Donkey-headed bard.
Do it.
Get him in.
Do it for the internet.
Yeah.
Bronze, you have so much going on. You're so famous and important now, and I'm so excited. Tell us about this D&D thing. Don't even pull that shit with me. Don't even pretend. Let me tell you about this. I tweeted about this. I saw the announcement, and I'll let you talk about the show, but I saw the announcement of the show, and I was like, that's cool. That seems fine. Someone will watch that. It won't be me. And I was like, what the hell? Bronze is on this thing? Well, now I gotta watch it. What? So tell me about this big new project. I'm so excited for you.
So basically, I got to play D&D with Deborah Ann Woll. Some of y'all might know her from True Blood. Some of y'all might know her as Karen Page from Daredevil, as well as some of the other members of the Daredevil cast. And there's 4 of us that are part of the crew. And then there's 1 rotating guest spot. And there was a bunch of celebrity guests from a bunch of shows that I can't talk about because of NDA stuff. So I got to spend a whole week playing D&D with famous people. Doesn't make me one of them. Just means I got to play with them. So
the first step towards being a famous person is knowing famous people. That's how that works.
That's true. I will say this. Everybody was so wonderful to work with. It's funny how actually successful, famous, rich people have less ego than Twitch streamers who are not anywhere near that. It's fascinating to me. Like, I was like, wow, these are like normal people that I actually like hanging out with. Unlike, good chunk of Twitch streamers who got way more ego than that. And they're not, Yeah, I'm talking about Mark. Fuck you, Mark.
I'm sure there's plenty of celebrities who are also like completely shit.
Probably,
you hang out with like nice Twitch streamers most of the time, but like there are the ones that are like shitty, but then there's like you hung out with nice celebrities, but then there's shitty celebrities too. So it's kind of just.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's shitty celebrities. Like who?
Did you hang out with Mariah Carey?
No, I
didn't know she was shitty. Is she shitty?
You guys don't know Mariah Carey?
Oh no, I love she's Mariah a shitty Carey. Person.
She a diva, girl.
I don't know that. She is Mariah Carey.
Max is dropping this.
Listen, I've just watched a lot of YouTube videos lately, and some of them happened to mention that Mariah Carey. I wasn't aware of this too until like I don't know, a year or so ago, and I was like, oh shit, she's actually kind of sucky.
Strong opinions from Max.
I feel like honestly, I feel like if I was Mariah Carey, I would be a piece of shit too.
Yeah.
I'm just like the 90s, Mariah Carey was kind of the shit, If I was her, I wouldn't act like I know nobody.
I feel like if you can look back at your life and it includes doing a song with Old Dirty Bastard, you've there's nothing else to worry about. Just relax. You're done. You never have to accomplish anything again. After Fantasy came out, that's it. She could just put it away and be done. You got a remix by ODB, your life is over. You could just live in the dream for the rest of it. Yeah. There's nowhere else to go from there.
You're not wrong though.
Yeah. I know.
There's just one person that came to mind.
Yeah, I see. So that was the first shitty person you could think of, shitty celebrity.
You listen. Well, I don't think about things before I say them on any of these shows. What you get is what you get. That's a part of what I think is.
Here goes any chance we ever had of getting Mariah Carey on RollPlay. We were this close, Max. This close, and you fucked it up for us.
Yeah, she's watching right now, like she normally does, because she loves RollPlay.
I'm sorry, Mariah. Yeah, she's a huge fan. Yeah,
she's like
calling her lawyer to shut Max down.
Motherfuckers, getting on the phone.
She's actually the head of Crux in the faction turns, Max. So you're fucked.
Yeah, right, exactly. You walk in and it's Mariah Carey. And she shoots you. It's over. Yeah, it is. I mean, I know what you mean though, Bronze, about like it's a weird thing where you're like, you've played role-playing games your whole life, and this is a thing that is like special and important to you, and it's a thing that you do for fun. And there's always this risk of like, is this person just being invited to play this game with us because they're famous and they're not really going to have a good time?
Yeah.
They're just going to kind of like be shitty about it. But it's so nice when they actually are like decent and
because that's a real thing. And some people very much treat it like I'm going to come in for the 3-4 hours they have me booked for and just kind of, they kind of, what is it called? Call it in. They kind of call it in, And the people involved with this definitely weren't like that. And that was really fun. Everyone was like super excited. And I knew directly, like, I'm sad because we were all joking about how our rehearsal was probably everybody's like favorite episode. And that was like our warm up. So we didn't even tape it. We had fun in the rehearsal that never got recorded. So like our episode 0, we're like, that was the most fun. And no one's ever going to see it. And I was like, oh, but then I made us super excited for the rest of the episodes. But yeah.
So did you went in and recorded everything all at once, and now they're just like releasing it over time, over the course of a week?
Cool. Yeah. So we recorded it all over the course of a week, and they're going to be releasing it, I think, at the rate of an episode a week, starting in February. So super excited. And there was a rehearsal. There's always a rehearsal to make sure it's like so that the players get some chemistry like rehearsal's a loose word because it's not like we just played a fake scenario for a couple of hours so that our characters could like get to know each other and we could have like chemistry before we go into shooting. Otherwise, it's really awkward to play role play games. I remember people asked me right before Far Verona, like, "Oh, how do you feel about playing with everybody?" I was like, "Not great," because getting in a room and playing with a bunch of people you've never played with before is already like super hard. But then doing that on camera is like way harder. And so we did have like an episode 0. That's the best way to put it, which was just like a little module we played through before we even started filming. It was like really casual over Thai food, like around a dinner table, just so we could like get to know each other and get to know each other's style. And that way, when we go on and do the actual show that Deborah wrote, we don't like, have like weird clashes or anything like that.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to do that. Yeah, that's really cool. Like I'm excited about kind of where things are with RPGs right now, where that's happening, where people are like, cool, like I've also been playing D&D. I'm a famous person and I just didn't say anything before because it wasn't like relevant or cool, but now people actually it matters and people are like, yeah, I'm into that thing. Give me an opportunity to play again.
And the level of production blows my mind, because if you told me 5 years ago that things would be produced on that level, I would have been like, what? No. Because like there were so many different sets, and just like if you could see in the trailer, like the quality of the sets and stuff, it was like a dream come true. It was the most immersive D&D experience I've ever had. And
nice.
I wish I could play like that all the time now, I just wish I wish
just
this was like a
millions and millions of dollars and to all live in the same place is the other
other one. And then just have a very famous set designer come and transform our spaces. They just fly out to each of our homes every week and transform this room into a spaceship so that I can truly feel like an Amira from House Vela. It's the only way I'll continue with the show, JP. I insist. According to Adam, I'm famous now. I don't have a mannequin.
Mariah in the case.
Listen,
but you're close. Talk to my hedgehog.
Bronze, you're not famous yet, but you're close enough to famous that if you tried to move away from it, famous would get an attack of opportunity on you. So just give it time. Give it time, and eventually you'll become.
It's the nerdiest way to put that ever, and I love it.
I don't know if you know this, but you're about to play role-playing games on the internet. So
Nerd.
Yeah, well. Max, have you been up to anything since the last time we spoke, which was like 12 hours ago?
I live a sad, depressing life, Adam. I don't do shit. No. What did I do? I don't know. Nothing, kind of. I had more Christmas decorations and stuff. Not in here.
You usually stream after Quarter Swords. You stream anything yesterday?
Yeah, I played Hold Fast, which is Hold Fast Nations at War. It's that Napoleonic era kind of combat thing. That game's pretty fun. It's very like very RP heavy, but in like a really fun way where everyone's gets like it gets really fun when people get into it. We're like, all right, form up, men, make a line here, because it's like line combat if people do it. It's also kind of random, it's not constantly line combat sort of stuff. But yeah, there's like your commanders, and you have cannons that people are like wheeling up to the front lines and stuff, and there's proximity voice chat the entire time. You can be all sorts of silly with it. It's super fun, and it's it's like shoot, hold on.
We were giving Zeke a hard time last night about liking bad games, but there are games that come out that are like, if it's kind of historical and it's multiplayer, I'm pretty sure Max will play it. Like looking at this game, I'm like, this game looks terrible, but I bet you anything Max had a great time.
It's running around with his bayonets. The devs are super cool too. They're like really, really responsive, and there are a lot of devs who like for streamers and be like, oh yeah, we'll support you, and then they don't like at all. Like they don't listen at all. They're just like, great, you're playing the game, awesome, we got him. These guys are actually they're proactively like the admins and stuff are in our chats asking like, all right, if there's somebody hassling, they want the streamers to have a good time. Where a lot of them are just like, play the game. They're playing the game. Great, whatever. Fuck them.
Did you play a musician at any point, Max?
No, I think
I played the little drummer boy.
Yeah. You can come in with like a little fife, some drums.
What game is this?
Stuff. It's called Hold Fast. Nations at War, I think, or something like that. And
are you interested in that Civil War game at all?
Which one? War of Rights?
I think so. Yeah, there's like a Civil War game where you can be like a flag
I think it's
bearer.
War of Rights. I haven't played. Yeah, they have flag bearers and all that stuff in this. From what I've heard from the comparison of these two games is that War of Rights is beautiful. It's like looks really, really good, but it doesn't quite have the depth that Holdfast has. But I haven't personally tried War of Rights yet. I'd like to though. Yeah, I've had some friends, some other YouTuber friends and stuff that have played it. But yeah, Holdfast is fun. It's there's actually a lot more there than you'd think. And it's great too, especially if you want to play like games with your community and stuff, because you can be like, join this server, and it's not like, oh, the server will fill up right away, because it's like 155 people that can be in a battle. So it's like, you got these 70 on 70 battles going on, and the maps are like so huge and span across different. It's fun. That's what I was doing last night. But
that's cool.
I was pretty drained on energy, so I ended up doing a real short cast. It wasn't the game's fault. It was my fault. I hate those the times on cast where you're like, God, I want to keep streaming and playing, but I'm wrung out. You know what I mean?
You have that revelation of like, I am not being even a little bit entertaining right now.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the worst. That's when I know to pull the plug, is like, I get a couple feelings of like, fuck, man, this is boring as shit. And it's not the game's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. It's my fault.
Good time to play.
And then I'll log off. And then as soon as I'm off stream, I get a burst of energy.
Yep,
and I'm like, where did this come from? Nope. Where were you 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. It's like, I don't think I'm gonna cut the stream. We're done. Yeah, you go, you get a sandwich, and 20 minutes later, you're like, oh, God. I'm just gonna boot it back up. Here we go.
Yeah.
So you think you're gonna stick with that game, or you're gonna keep moving on? You play like a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy that I'm at that place in streaming and all that stuff. Because for a while,
no, it's cool.
I don't know. I felt like I was like I've always been true variety, but I definitely didn't play as much variety as I do nowadays, which is great. And I attribute that a lot to the guys that I play a lot of games with, because they're always really helpful about like what's new and all. I don't research a lot of games and all that shit. I probably should. But you know me. What am I going to do? Homework?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think is anybody here interested in Atlas amongst us at all? I know a lot of people have been talking about that. I think we all just want it to not suck. People from the Arc Dev, or it's the Arc devs that are making it.
There were like commercials or something reveal for it during the Game Awards, right?
It just looks super ambitious and cool, and we're all just hoping, I think, that it doesn't suck and isn't horrible on launch in the week that it's launched and all that stuff, especially. So it's really beefy too. It's like 100 gigs, 44 gig download, and then it unpacks to 100 gigs. So as a streamer who can't download things while he's live, I don't like that.
Yep. That's what downloading overnight is for. Yeah, I saw some stuff about it. It seems like it could be cool. Those kinds of games aren't usually like my jam, but they definitely make for fun watching if the people that are playing it are entertaining.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for
all that RP stuff is very hit and miss in that regard. But if you can find people that are fun to watch, it's
yeah. It seems like it has the potential to be really, really cool. What I'm hoping is that Arc was like, here's our test game, you know what I mean, to kind of like use it to test out features, and then all the while, because I guess this has been in development for a bit now.
Yeah,
they've just been tweaking stuff, and taking the feedback from Arc and what works and what doesn't work, and using Arc as like a testing ground, because obviously Arc has some jank to it and it's a little shitty here and there. So I'm hoping that everything they've learned from Arc has been implemented into this new one. But we'll see later on.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that.
It's pirates, right?
Yeah, pirates and like fantasy and monsters and stuff like that. But it's like, mainly a pirate theme. I can't tell you all the details on it and stuff. I can't remember, but it seems pretty cool. You can literally like steal people's ships and stuff too, and then that your ship. I think I don't know. Someone was saying that it seems dope. I'm just gonna take it as is. I'm a big fan of the going kind of blind, so that way you can experience stuff, nice and fresh. And also, then you don't make too many expectations. Yeah, it makes me nervous. Scary. It makes me real nervous.
I like it more when they start with like a really narrow scope and then build out from there. Like the way, like, I think Subnautica was good at that, and The Long Dark. Like, these little indie games do a really good job of like, we're gonna do this one thing really well, and then we'll add and add and add and add. Them right out of the gate, they're just like, when I saw some of the footage, I was like, that sounds like No Man's Sky to me. And I'm not trying to roast No Man's Sky, but it took them a long time to get to what they originally promised. If they had come out and not promised all that, I don't think they would have had such a rocky launch.
Isn't Star Citizen a little like that too? Where they're just like, it's everything, and it's gonna take 1,000,000 years to actually finish it and come out.
Well, Star Citizen, I don't remember if they came. I don't think they came out of the gate saying like it's gonna be like this from the get go. It's been. I think they've been pretty consistent with like, listen, guys, we're gonna do it, but we're gonna need you guys' help, and we'll keep giving. And they've been pretty consistent about giving like updates and stuff about things, and they offer a lot of like in-game stuff that you can get to help support. You know what I mean? So you can buy like this crazy ass ship, but that money, the reason why it's so expensive is because it goes towards, and then you get perks for it and stuff. Like
I kind of like. I like the idea. I like the idea of games. Yeah, games being ostensible that way. Like D&D is like this, right? Where it's like you could just play D&D forever and ever and ever, just using the player's handbook and the monster manual, whatever, and that would be it. You wouldn't need anything else. But there's like additional stuff that if you want to do more things, you can buy the supplements. I like that. Being given the choice to like buy in at whatever level you want. Yeah. Cool.
Our Citizen's another one.
Well, my friends, we should play a role-playing game. I mean, we could sit here and get caught up and talk about games forever because that's like the thing that we do all the damn time. But we're here for a reason, and that is to play Stars Without Numbers. So let's do that instead. Hey, Matt, what's your goal for today? You got a goal? Did you plan a goal? Actually, there's a new rule, Max. You have to have 5 goals for every session. Everybody else gets a regular number, but you have to come up with 5. So go ahead. Goal number 1.
To catch everyone else up that's on the cast here. Well, you guys know I'm shitty at goals, but yesterday I vented a bit on cortisors. I'm like, I fucking hate making goals. It's the worst part for me of doing RP shows. Like, I love being in the moment and applying myself to RPing and stuff, but when it comes to like, hey, what's your goal? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Max is a doer. He's a doer, not a thinker. He's a doer. Well, I mean, for this session, like particularly, because this is sort of our interstitial, right? This is the tie up loose ends, hang out on the spaceship, interact with NPCs, the kind of between missions session. So we actually do have some time to kind of play it easy. So if you don't want to like have a particular goal this session, it's fine. But if you have something you want to do and you think you can get some experience for it, you can. But it's not.
I do remember that
it's integral.
Myself and I think some other people leveled up. Did we do all that stuff yet?
Yeah, let's start there, right? We can take a nice start, kind of like
like I'm assuming it's just obviously HP, right? You do that roll for it, but I don't know what else there is. It's level 4 we got to, right? I'm at level 4.
Yeah, spending skill points and what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who leveled up from?
Caught up with you in levels. That's crazy to me. Because I'm like 3 experience points behind Max, and I feel like I shouldn't even be close.
See above regarding Max doesn't
goals.
Like writing goals. Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Max doesn't like writing goals.
I think you just proved that point because I had a character die, and I still am almost caught up with you.
Well, that's why I get frustrated too sometimes. That's why I get frustrated sometimes too with that whole deal of like that's how you get your XP, right? You got to make a goal, and I'm like, but I don't want to. I just want to do my thing and be like, you did a good job. Here's some experience.
You killed this thing.
You want to
some gold.
You want to play.
I'm feeling it.
You want to play one of those games where what you do doesn't matter. You just need to you just show up and you get 1 experience point for being.
What are you saying? I just show up? You saying I don't put my heart and soul into this? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying. So the purpose of goals is like why they exist as an XP system is to keep you guys motivated to do the things that are important to your characters, not so that I'm like, you have to do this thing. Instead for you to be like, this is what my character wants to do. And it encourages you to continue. It's also helpful for me because it's telling me what you want for your characters and what you want in the game. Like if you have a goal about something, I will try to like aim us towards that.
I understand.
There are other ways to do it, but if you don't know what you want, well, I mean, you gotta think about it, I guess.
We talked about it before. It's a shift in thinking. Like I need to think of it less of like that and more of, Like, well, what does Booker want to accomplish? Blah blah blah, all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, or like, what do you want?
It's me. I'm the problem. I understand.
I wouldn't say it's not a problem. It's just different styles of XP gain.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like if you look at base D&D,
different kind of learner.
Everyone has the same goal, right? Everyone has the same goal in D&D, and it's kill monsters, and then you get XP. So you don't have to write a goal because it's built into your character. That's just not the case in here.
God.
Yeah, I mean, we could put together some kind of remedial goal setting class for you if you want.
I need to join that class.
Just let House Crux decide your goals for you.
Well, it's been fun being a part of Far Verona, guys. This will be my last episode on the show. Hope you guys have enjoyed Booker and his remedial expeditions.
I'm excited. I'm excited that we're losing 3 players today. But Bronze is too famous for us. Max just quit because Bronze was being mean to him, and Mariah Carey's not going to be on the show now. So you really fucked us on this one, Bronze. Thanks.
Sorry.
All right. Who gained a level? Who gained a level from last time?
Me.
And I think Mark did as well. Yeah.
Okay. So Max, you are a partial expert, partial warrior. Is that correct?
Yeah, warrior expert.
Okay. All right. So let's see. You gain an extra skill point when you gain a level, which means that you're gonna get. Let's see here. Free level stuff, and I don't think you get anything extra as a. Oh, you get 2 extra. Make a note of this. You get 2 extra hit points and 1 extra skill point when you level up. And then Mark, you're just a psychic, right? Or are you a psychic?
No, I'm partial psychic, partial warrior.
Right, okay. So for you,
wow,
you
just
get
a psychic.
Just a psychic. No,
I didn't say merely a psychic. I should have said exclusively
psychic hate.
A psychic. Listen. Okay, so you'll get that same +2 hit points, and then you'll get your psychic.
Yeah, I did my skill points already. I think I just need to do the hit points now.
Okay, cool. Do you wanna do that now? Do you wanna roll it?
Yeah.
All right.
So remind me, hit points. I'd be doing 3d6.
You are level 3 now.
3. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your constitution bonus?
Constitution is +0, but I am partial warrior, so I get +2 per level, right?
Yeah, so it'll be 3d6.
3d6 +6.
+6.
Cool. And my current is 8, so if I get above that, should I add the +6 or just roll 3d6 and then manually add 6? Sorry, I know I'm being pedantic.
You can just go roll 3d6 +6. It's fine.
3d6 +6 modifier. Okay. 15.
Okay. 15. So what did you have before?
I had 8. So.
Oh, that's a pretty big jump. Okay.
You had 8 hit points.
Yeah, I rolled like a 1 on my second level hit points. It was really sucky. I rolled really bad. This wasn't much better because it was like a 2 and a 1 and then a 6.
Yeah.
But...
Do I have to roll stuff as well, Adam? I'm looking at does it say like it keeps going for hit points? Like that's at first level you roll 1d6. So would I be rolling 4d6?
You just got to level 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 46. Roll 46 + 16.
Okay.
Because you have that feat. Or that focus, rather.
46 +16, you said?
Yeah.
32.
Okay.
Oh.
And what did you have before?
I had 24. But
okay.
And then do I have that extra 2 that you said before?
Or? No, that's added like onto your die. That's why the 16 is the way that it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So my hit points
are
now 32.
Two for being a warrior, 2 per level for being the thing. So that's +4, which is +16, and then 4d6 for your level.
I'm gonna be honest, that's great. I'm just rolling in HP. Good. So now Booker dies this episode because I said that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many HP you have when you die of a heart attack.
I just saw it on Adam's face too for a brief moment. He had that like flicker of like, I can change that.
All right, so you're level 4 now, so you need 18 experience total to be level 5. You roll your new hit points. You'll get another +1 to your attack bonus next level when you hit level 5. Your saving throws might change, and then you have skill points that you get that you can spend to do your attributes or your skills. So when you level up, you get 3 skill points plus the 1 for being a partial expert max.
So 4 skill points to divvy out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Page 57 has the stuff for that. Cool. And then Bronze, you're almost leveled up, right?
Yeah, I'm 3 points away. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then Anne, how close are you to leveling, or did you level last time?
I'm still 11 away. It takes 18 to get to level 5.
It's your total XP. So it's not, you don't need another 18, you need 18 total. So like how much XP do you have right now?
7.
Okay, yeah. So you don't need 11 more, you need 5 to get to level 4.
No, I am level 4.
So you should have 12. You had 12 at level 4. Are you adding basically? So the table on 56, to get to level 2, you need 3, and then you keep those 3, and to get to level 3, you need 6 total. So you need 3 more. So the experience required is just total, not like again. I just want to make sure you're at the right level. So if you have 7 now, then you would need 5 to get to level 4. That make sense?
I'm pretty sure Nomi is level 4 because she.
Yeah, I think so
around.
So. Yeah, 7 wouldn't be right.
Yeah,
there's no way you've been doing stuff with us. So
you've got way more.
I have no idea then, to be honest. I don't know. The sheet says I had 7 of 18, so. And it says level 4.
Yeah. I wonder if you've got 7 since level 4.
Well, that'd put you level 5.
Sin?
Okay, well let's just set you then. I'll put you halfway between 4 and 5. If you haven't yeah, right, your level level 4 plus 7 would put you at 19, which would mean you're level 5.
Right.
Because at level 4 you had 12. Yeah, I feel like you have to be level 5 then, if that's the case. If you're erasing your XP when you hit a level, if you're going back to 0, then you'd be added on top. I'm okay with that, with just assuming that's how it is. It's less about math and it's more about it's about the record. Yeah, you think you're level?
I think I'm level 5.
I think you're level 0. Get the fuck out.
Can we just do that?
I think that's fine. I think it makes sense. Because I think what's happened is that instead of adding additionally, you're erasing and starting again. So let's just put you at 19 and we'll level you up.
I think that does make sense because I'm pretty sure Anne's completed the most goals out of everyone as well.
Yeah, that's why when you said the XP, I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, that's fair. Listen, we already talked about me and horrible goals. It's fine. It's amazing that I'm at level 4.
Okay. All right. So Anne, you'll get to roll your hit points, and then you'll get some skills. So you have 3 skill points, with an extra bonus point or no, you have to spend a point on your psychic abilities, and then and then HP. So you are level 5, which means, and you're a psychic, so you roll d4s, right, for hit points.
So how much XP do I actually have? Because it says 7 right now, so I'm at 19.
Set it at 19. Yeah, set it at 19.
Level 5.
You need 27 total to get to the next level.
27.
Yeah, but not 27 from 0. Like climb from 19 to 27.
So 8 more experience points to get level 6.
Yep.
Okay.
And everybody's D6s. Okay. All right. So you're gonna roll 5d6, and your constitution bonus is -1, right?
Yep.
Okay. So 5d6. Each die gets a -1. So 5d6 -5.
Can I do one at a time?
Yeah, do them one at a time because no die can go below 1. Yeah, do them one at a time. So roll
1d6
/R plus 1d6 -1, and we'll do that 5 times.
Put a space in between the R.
/R space. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then 1d6 -1. I just
Pray
can't.
for
I
HP.
can't do this.
Okay, all right.
I can't do this. I can't.
Poor Anne.
Okay, so you got 1. Keep going.
Okay.
2.
Good.
Good. Matt.
3.
6.
Okay, 1 plus 2 plus.
Oh wait. 4.
Hey.
Okay.
You can't go below what you had.
Big money. Come on.
All right, 2 more.
Right.
2 more.
Big money.
4.
Hey, there you go.
Oh,
Above
she's
average.
so strong now. This is oh god. Okay, that's a 0.
Okay,
Am I
so
allowed?
it can't. That's a 1. That's another 1. So
Okay, great. 2 1s.
you got 8,
Jesus
10,
Christ.
11. You got 12.
12. Yeah.
12. Yeah, it would be 11 if you could roll 0, but you can't.
5 better? 6. Okay, so 12 HP.
12
That's
HP.
good. Oh my god.
All right.
Nomi
That's
is
good.
such a skeleton snake.
Skeleton Nomi.
She's
Okay,
less
so you
of a
said I
skeleton
get
now, though.
3 skill points. I have to spend 1 on my psychic techniques, right?
Yeah. And you are currently, I think at level 5. This is where you can start. You can go to the next tier. So
Yeah, level
we talked
5
about
is
your
danger zone.
we talked about your future. Yeah, your cool future shit. So let me find that section and tell you what you max out at on skills.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
Booklet.
Yeah. All right. So minimum character level 3. So nothing can be over. It's level 6 that you go to the level 3 skills. So you can buy anything up to level 2, or you can boost your attributes with those points. It's all on.
Okay, what page?
It's all on page 57. And yeah, you get 3 skill points plus you have to spend one of your total skills on a psychic skill. The other 2 you can do it, and that's on page 57. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about doing that right this second. But if you have a skill that you want to spend points on, that's what you do.
Pretty sure if I don't do it now, then I'm gonna forget, and then I won't level up ever again.
I will make a note.
That's not the psychic stuff. That's the just regular skills.
Yeah, they all cost the same number of skill points. But...
Okay.
So, Bronze, let's talk real quick. So we're going to be doing kind of like cleanup for this episode. So you can decide if you want this to be like, basically we'll work out how whatever you're doing right now and kind of some of the stuff that we did last thing, we'll transfer you, because I don't want you, if you decide to make a new character, it won't be like, hey, cool, you're level 1. Welcome to the bottom of the pile. Like you're doing work for a different character now if you decide to switch. Or if the Amira wants to adjust her political situation and stick around, that's also a valid choice.
Is there any way like we could keep my character sheet from now though, because my character would still be alive, and that way I don't know if this next character dies, maybe because like I can't justify her having a radical change like that. But maybe if she were to re-enter the show like 3 or 4 characters from now, because God knows this show's a meat grinder. So after I lose 2 or 3 more characters, if she wanted to maybe make a re-entry, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, completely. If a character isn't like dead and buried, then having them retire and go away, the chances that we'll run into them again for sure. And I wouldn't like.
I don't know how I'd roleplay that. Like, oh yeah, like it's only been 2 weeks, but I've completely changed my status. And
well, we do big jumps, right? Like right now is going to be a couple of weeks. Yeah, this is a couple of weeks after the last thing that happened, and then there'll be months that'll pass before the next adventure.
Okay.
So yeah, so in that case, you have that opportunity. But for right now, yeah, it doesn't to me make a ton of sense for her to just be like, you can kind of see how the wind is going. So yeah, I just want to let you know that like whatever you're doing now, like even though mechanically like you're playing as the Amira, if you earn XP or whatever this session, we can apply it to another character, and that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So this is the part, Max, that you hate. You've completed your mission successfully. You've returned to the ship. And on board the ship you have you have a prisoner, right? You took who ended up on the ship? It was Sybil, right? She got knocked out and thrown in the car and then put back on the ship. So yeah, you have the head of the People for an Independent Berkman on board. If you want to, you can just be like, I'm done with her. She's gone. Like we'll just let her go back home to Lyra and get interrogated there. Or you can pursue her directly if you personally want to like continue seeing what's up. But otherwise, you're in a bit of a holding pattern to take on your own projects, to let to pursue whatever it is, and you're all in good shape now. Like everybody's kind of sees you as having done a good job for the Empire and for the house, and you have some degree of accolades. So now you can kind of take advantage of that. I just want to basically use this episode to do scenes that follow up on the mission and prepare us for the next thing. So if you have little ideas for your character, little story seeds you want to plant for the future, go ahead and start planting them today. And we'll just kind of go around and do that for this session. And that'll lead us up to the next episode where I have another mission for you. I just wanted to give you a chance to kind of interact with NPCs and do ship stuff. So let's talk about goals. Does anyone have a goal they would like to pursue this session that they can think of off the top of their head? We can also like just workshop them and talk about them as a group too. I'm gonna assume
I had an idea for a goal, but I'm not.
Yeah, talk about it. What do you think?
I'm not sure I want to do it.
Are you not sure you want to admit what it is either? Because you could just tell me what it is and we could like work it out.
No, let me think about it.
Okay, all right. It's a secret. Got it. All right.
If I choose if I choose to do the goal, you'll understand why.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. How about Gabriel? Because Gabriel, you're different now. You're a changed man. You've returned to the ship, and
yeah.
Now you got to figure out. Now you got to figure out what the hell your place is here, right?
There was one thing I wanted to potentially do before we leave Berkman as well.
Yeah, like I assume you're in orbit around Berkman. So
yeah, well, I think like maybe before like heading back up to the Prudence, and this kind of ties into the goal. Obviously, like the events on Berkman pissed Gabriel off as well as kind of changed him as a person. And I think I would want to go and speak to either. I don't know if the Inquisitor that I spoke to is in charge of the cathedral or is going to be involved in kind of taking over from Elder Michaela. But I certainly would want to go in and kind of speak with the people that are going to be in charge. And he certainly wants to give them a piece of his mind. Whether or not he's listened to is beyond the point, beside the point. But I think like basically going in and trying to, I guess he would be trying to convince them to do a better job. Because it was he sees it that Berkman was ultimately the church's failing, and caring more about Trillion profits than it was about actually doing their job, which Gabriel cares about. So I think like maybe something like that.
So you're gonna get yourself a hammer, get yourself a piece of paper, write your complaints on the paper, and go hammer it to the door of the church. Like, stop caring about profits.
Or go and hammer it into a desk along with somebody's like hand if necessary. Perhaps a little bit more aggressive than just a stern letter. a kind of
right.
If you don't
like
do this, I will come and find you. Yeah, it's kind of a.
Oh, you're hammering their hand. I, for some reason, took that as you hammering a disembodied hand with the note.
Maybe that's
well. Even worse.
Maybe Lao's hand. This is what happens if you fuck
I'm
up.
not completely convinced Crusader Gabriel is not in the Yakuza, since we were talking about that earlier.
Is he? Is he not? We don't know. But yeah,
we have triads. We have triads in this part of the universe, not Yakuza. Sorry, charitable organizations. So do you want to write your goal about ensuring that you leave the church? Like you try to admonish like the church to put them in a position to do better, or
so I guess
how do you want to phrase that?
I don't know how to phrase it. That's the problem. I guess.
Okay.
In terms
Talk to me about what your
in terms of Gabriel's mindset right now is the events of Berkman have kind of left him with this impression that the church and the empire aren't doing their job properly, and he's kind of like, okay, I need to go back to who I was and make sure this happens.
It's a common sentiment going around the universe right now.
Yeah, okay. So I think like his plan is to find whoever's in charge or whoever will be in charge of Berkman from the cathedral and deliver a and basically warn them that if they don't start looking after it, then it's a case of they're causing trouble, and he will make sure that they are punished by that.
Do it right, or I'm coming back.
Not necessarily in those words, but certainly an impression that if they don't sort it out, then the High Church will punish them. And that's in his mindset what is going to happen. Whether or not the High Church agrees with that is different, but that's what Gabriel's mindset is that, they will be punished if they don't do it right. And maybe phrase it like, I'm trying to think of the phrase, like, give an ultimatum to whoever's left in charge of Berkman.
There you go. That's a goal. So deliver an ultimatum to whoever is in charge of the church on Berkman. That sound good? Okay.
I'm writing that down.
Okay. Deliver already done to you. Get your shit together, so saith Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Deliver an ultimatum. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Cool. Okay. Nomi, do you know what you want to do with your goal? Now that you're back on the ship, or will be.
Not sure.
Okay. So you've succeeded at your mission.
Yeah.
You have a fair amount of like social and political cachet now. Given that you like did this successfully, you can turn that to your advantage, right? So you could be like arrange for some interviews or talk to Yancy about getting a promotion, or like, what do you want to do? You've still got kind of the success hot on your heels of the mission on the planet. You could take advantage of that, or if you have like a personal thing that you want to do that isn't related to the mission.
Do I have a rank right now on the ship, or like?
Yeah, I can't remember if you were given like a specific rank. Like you're functioning as squad commander, but I don't think that you got like that. I mean, that could be a thing, right? Get an official, like be officially recognized, be given an official rank. Because right now you're Cirrus. You're an external advisor.
Okay.
But that would certainly go a long way for raising your your abilities to like be taken seriously on the ship.
Right. Yeah. That'll be my goal. I wanna kind of like angle for an actual like military recognition of my service. Because I feel like we're kind of like a contracted group at the beginning, and now it's like, all right, I want like a full-time. I want a uniform and stuff.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Okay, because you're basically on loan to House Crux from Serpens, and they see you as kind of like a contractor or an advisor. But official Crux status and rank would be useful. Okay, cool. I'm into it. Okay. All right. Cool. Bronze, do you know what you want to do for the Amira?
I know what I want to do. I don't know if I can do it, which is, I guess, where you come in.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it? I mean, that's what the goal is for, right?
Okay.
But yeah, let's talk about it.
So what I would kind of like to happen, especially since there's going to be a time jump after this episode, is my character started this entire campaign very like, I don't know what I want to do and like all these things.
Yeah.
And right at this point, she's very after especially after seeing like things in action, she feels very disenfranchised with the noble houses, but she also has a very particular set of skills. I would kind of like to lay the groundwork so that when we come back, that my character is a bloodhound from House Vagrant.
Oh, okay. So what's great about this
and
too
that
is
she
there's
uses her knowledge of the inside of noble houses to destabilize noble houses.
No, I love it. I love it because it's
how she would fit with the crew. I don't know how that would work. So that's
well. So what's great about this is that in the overarching like arch for Vagrant is that you're right at this great point where you're like, I can't stand the nobles. I quit being a noble. I'm gonna go become a pirate. And then like 6 months later, Fornax is like, so we love these pirates now, and they're like officially part of the Empire again. So you just get pulled back in. I like it. That's a great.
But I still have that bloodhound skill, and that way my character can. Since we're gonna say that this is months in the future.
Yeah,
we can
I love it.
Have that her like feel like okay, I'm stuck in these houses. In the meantime, Vela dissolves, so she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go be a pirate. Because I know how to fuck with nobles because I was a noble. I was an Amira. And then she uses that to become a bloodhound. One of those new bloodhounds who are all charismatic and that the old bloodhounds hate. And then re-enters the group as an older grizzled bloodhound now. But she's
so the Amira, I love it. So the Amira's plan is then like, because basically, I guess, and we can. This is all part of the thing. Is like you're planning on ditching your house, and it's about how much can you get away with, right? So like you want to steal a ship and get a crew, and like so that's what this episode will be: making phone calls and trying to figure out how to steal things, so you can be like, I gotta go, and become a badass pirate. Bye.
Yeah, and then come back a few months from now because I'm official. Yeah, but I was gonna ask, does that mean I get a ship when I come back?
It could. It certainly could. I mean, there may be a point at which the Empire is like crumbling and the characters can't hang out on the Crux ship anymore and need to be rescued by a cool badass pirate that they used to know. So we got lots of options. Okay. So how do you want to phrase that? Like, because it's about leaving the nobility. It's like ditching these.
Yeah, I think this episode
for a life of action.
Yeah, this episode would probably be me turning in my aunt for being a conduit for like the STO, because she's the person who started all this shit, and I never wanted to do all of that anyway. So probably notifying. I don't know, who would I turn it into?
So we don't necessarily need to work out everything. Like your goal can be like execute my villainous plan to leave, because if you got this aunt and you turn her in, she might forfeit her stuff to you, and
which is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to twist her arm so she gives me what I need, or agrees to be a crew member for me. Okay. She's already mad at me, Adam. She's already mad at me. Things can't get.
So how do you want to phrase this? Like either.
I think execute my villainous plan is great.
Okay, all right, sure. Execute my villainous plan. I like it. We know what that means.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like when you're playing the Battlestar Galactica board game and you flip over your card and realize you're a Cylon, and you're like, all right, let's execute my Cylon plan.
That's right. Time to be a Cylon.
Yep.
Excellent. I like it. Okay. Max, have you decided?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to go with the goal that I was going to do before.
Okay.
I think Booker is going to actually, since it is like, that calm in between period before they get assigned to the next mission. Booker is going to get, the way I'm seeing it in my head is Booker gets back to the ship, gets back to his quarters, and finds himself like bored and not quite sure what to do. Just like how Max doesn't know what to do as a goal. There's a lot of similarities there between me and Booker. And he thinks back to the shindig that Gabriel, or then, what was your name before? I don't even remember. You're called Crusader Gabriel now. I can't.
He did such a good job of erasing his past.
I don't even know.
It's like a different man.
Damn it. I can't remember. Anyways, when he rolled, or when he had that little like party or whatever the hell it was, Booker remembers that, thinking about that, and he's like, wow, I remember I had a good time about that. So Booker's gonna try to do a little shindig, but like keep it low key and just like it's us officers, like, that are on the ship, and then whoever else they want to invite, kind of deal. So basically throw a shindig in Booker's way.
Okay. Cool. Have a party.
That's right. Valencia, the chaplain. Sorry, Mark, I forgot. I adjusted my brain to trying to drill Gabriel into there,
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what Booker thinks it makes for a good party. It should be hilarious. Cool. Okay. So let's start with the Amira. Let's let you start, because I think you have the most complicated stuff you want to do. So set the scene for me. What is the first stage in executing the Amira's plan to steal a spaceship, screw over her family, and leave the Empire? Where do we begin?
How does I screw over my family? I don't think my family is no longer in a position to dispense justice as I once saw fit. That's my mentality on it,
Sure.
Like, because Kieran always came into this with like oh yeah, we're nobles, but we take care of people and this, that, and the other. And now this has become a little bit too capitalist for her. And probably step number 1 would be acquire a ship.
Okay. Yeah. So how are you going to go about doing that? Where do we see you doing that thing?
I've got 2 avenues.
Okay.
I could use my pull at Trilliant. Or
ships are expensive.
I could see if I could barter something between Trilliant and my family before they realize that I'm going to disappear. Or I could maybe lie to my family and tell them I'm going to use the ship to leave the jurisprudence and come back to them, but really I'm going to leave the ship and never come back.
Just as an example, a 6-person, like a free merchant ship, which is sort of the basic like small ship, is 500,000 credits. The next one up, a patrol boat, is 2.5 million credits. So yeah, I mean, you could try to call in some favors, and
what if I needed to steal one?
Like, send you a spaceship. Yeah, you could also steal one. There's lots of options. There's ships everywhere. There's laying around all over.
But if I steal one, am I wanted by the Crux?
Yeah.
Which then,
I don't know. If you steal a cop car, do you think the cops will chase you down and try to get it back, or
which would not be wise? And even if I did escape, that would kind of make it impossible for my character to come back to the crew.
I wouldn't say impossible.
By the Crux.
Yeah, there's some pardons that get issued later, but let's not worry about that for right now.
Okay. So theoretically, I could steal a Crux ship, but then I would have to outrun the Crux.
Yeah, the only ship available right now would be like the Prudence, or you could steal one of her like drop pods, which isn't quite a ship. Mutinying the entire Prudence would be a very difficult thing to accomplish, but I would love to see you try if that's the way you want to go.
Nomi could do it.
Probably.
Okay, so what are my options? Are there any ships nearby?
Yeah, I mean, in orbit there are, and I guess maybe that's the scene, right? Is it like where would you get that information? Because you don't have access to the sensors or whatever. But you could ask someone in the like sensor crew to give you a report on that, but like Berkman's a crossroads, right? So there's lots of ships coming and going. You just don't have access to them just now.
I could take a completely different take on this. Okay, so I have completed my mission with the Crux, right?
Yeah, you completed this mission. Yep.
Couldn't I theoretically then arrange for transport off the jurisprudence simply because I've completed like my contract with them? And I'm a free agent?
Yeah, I mean you're like Nomi, you're sort of on loan, so you technically would have to get like permission from the captain to be like, yes, you're dismissed.
Okay. Let's do that, because then I could arrange for transport back home, but then hijack the transport before we get back home. And if that transport is smaller, it'd be much more reasonable to hijack it than hijacking something like the Prudence.
Yes. Single-handedly hijacking the jurisprudence would be nigh impossible.
Right. But hijacking a tiny little transport that was sent here specifically to take me back home.
Hijacking a Valen transport is much easier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have to find a way onto Valen transport, which means I have to take my leave of the captain.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'll do.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to try to go straight to the captain like directly, or do you go through Yancy or?
No, I'd probably go through Nomi because that would be the chain of command.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yeah, let her know that my mission's done, and humbly request that I be dismissed from my duties since we completed our mission. So there's no reason for me to be here. And take my leave. Because like
how
I was gonna do that anyway.
Nomi, how accessible are you to the Amira? Like, can she just come and like hang out with you anytime, or?
Yeah, I would say pretty accessible because I don't do a lot other than like meditate or like do work and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So then Kiran, we can have a scene where you find Nomi in her room if you go and see her there. I guess you have the initiative, right? You can decide where you seek her out.
Yeah, I'd probably just go knock on her door, her quarters.
Come and knock on my door.
Is that a song?
She's been waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Three's Company.
Mm-hmm.
I would say though, but at some point Max has to walk into the scene because you can't have two people and sing that song. It's not allowed. Okay, all right. So Nomi, you're in your room, and you are probably just finishing a focusing meditation or reflecting meditation on the mission as it has gone. When there is a faint chime of a visitor outside your door.
Enter.
I come in and say, good evening. Thank you so much for letting me in. I was hoping to speak with you for just a moment.
Yes, have a seat.
I'll take a seat and then I'll say, seeing as how our mission on Berkman was completed, I was hoping to be excused from service so that I may return home.
Where is home for you?
Hakani.
I've not visited Hakani. Do you enjoy it there?
I do. And I long to be with my family again.
Yes, we have been away from family for quite some time. You wish to be excused of service entirely? Or do you need just a temporary absence?
Ideally, entirely. However, after a leave of absence, maybe my mind would change. I never really joined the service of jurisprudence under normal circumstances. If you recall, I was kind of just piloting the sad songs and found myself here, and now I'm not sure I'm so cut out for this work. I long to be amongst my people again.
I understand. If a more permanent solution is what you're looking for, then you will have to speak with Officer Yancy. You can tell him that you have my blessing. If this is truly what you have decided on and you've thought about this adequately, then it's not my place to keep someone on my crew who no longer wishes to be a part of it. Your work has been appreciated.
Thank you very much, Cirrus. I appreciate this. You have no idea the kindness you've done for me today.
Is that all?
That will be all. Thank you.
I just go back to my work.
Yeah, I'd probably leave.
Okay.
Oh God, I have to talk to Yancy. He's the worst.
Yeah, you got to work yourself up the chain, and Yancy's on that list. So your servant, Elizagert, is standing outside, and she's changed back into her like on ship unit like clothing. So she's got her like uniform on, and she has your your data pad, and when you walk out, she says, "Oh, that was quick."
Yes.
She kind of gives you a look like, "What can I do for you now? How can I help?
Eliza,
Let's get out of here."
You arrange. Alexa, stop. Like yelling at me in the middle of
Eliza.
I know. Close enough.
Right? Even she doesn't know what her name is.
What is Yancy's what would I call him? Is he what rank is he?
I believe he's a lieutenant.
Emperor Yancy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Dark Emperor of all humanity. It depends on how Cruxian you want to be. He's Kriegsherr is his title. Kriegsherr Ibanez. Or you could use Lieutenant Crux Ibanez Yancy.
Okay. I'll say to her, can you ping Lieutenant, would it be Ibanez then?
Ibanez, yeah.
Okay. Could you ping Lieutenant Ibanez's assistant and arrange for an audience with him?
She makes like a little bit of a face. Not an I don't want to do it face, but I don't like him face. And
yes,
says,
I know it's rather unpleasant.
I thought that you only needed approval from the Cirrus, Amira, and then we would be able to leave.
Unfortunately, will require some higher authorization.
Very well.
We do have the Cirrus's blessing in hand, and from what I know, the lieutenant thinks very highly of her, so that should be worth quite a bit.
And yeah, she nods and she says, "Of course, I'll prepare a meeting. Do you want to make a connect roll? Give yourself an extra +1 on it, because you got your little goon helping you, and there's no reason that Yancy wouldn't want to see you. I just want to see how Yancy's like, what his mood is by the time you arrive."
Yeah, with charisma. Or
yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so. All right. So we'll crossfade over to Yancy's office. You've been given an appointment with him. This isn't much later. And you walk up outside, and you hear him from inside, sort of distractedly be like, "Come in."
I enter.
You do? Okay. All right. So you go inside, and he's sitting at his desk, this big big black like wood desk, and there's a bunch of displays in front of him, and you're seeing them from the back, so you're seeing them in mirror. But they look to be a bunch of different like news reports from various places in the sector. You can see some like tanks. There looks like a troop movement, like troops being loaded into a vehicle. And he looks like his eyes are kind of darting back and forth between the screens. And he's kind of scowling when you come in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look up. Yeah, he doesn't look up when you come in. Sorry, he's just like,
I
still
wouldn't
watching.
expect him to. Yeah, I kind of don't really want his attention. I want him. Hopefully, he'll just wave me away. That would be ideal. Like, yeah. Okay, go on, leave. That would be fantastic. I come in and say, Lieutenant, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me today. I had a request to make of you.
What?
With the Cirrus's blessing, I was hoping to ask for a leave of absence or dismissal to return home to Haqqani.
What? No, that's absurd.
Well, seeing as how our mission was successfully completed, and seeing as how I was brought aboard the jurisprudence in sort of a emergency situation, I was hoping that upon completing the given assignment, my contract with you could be considered completed in full.
No, we still have use for you. What? And he looks up as if like, fine, I'm going to pay attention to you now. Now you've done it. And he like swipes away the screens that he's looking at. He stands up, and he looks like he's been working for a while. Like he's got this like high crux like collar, but it's unbuttoned. And his hair is like slightly out of place. He looks like he hasn't like taken a break in some time. His eyes are like a little bit red. He stands up, and he says, what is all this nonsense about people trying to leave the ship?
Oh,
and he looks you up and down. He's like,
nothing to do with the ship so much as I simply miss my family. I never really worked in a sort of military installation like this before. I was only ever a pilot for a passenger shuttle, and I'm not used to being away from home for so long.
Well, I'm sorry that you're feeling homesick, but I can't have every officer on my ship just getting up and leaving. I've already approved one pilot's disappearance. I can't have another. No, your contract is indefinite anyway. You're not done yet. Besides,
what if
I don't see the corporates landing troops on Haqqani. Come back to me then.
The Cirrus did think it was a good idea if I would maybe take a leave of absence. She did say that if I didn't want to be here, there was no sense in keeping me.
I'm sorry, the Cirrus said that just because you don't feel like doing your duty anymore, you can just go home? Is that it?
Well, I was under the impression that she was squad commander.
Yes, she is the squad commander. And I'm the Kriegsherr, and the captain is the captain, and God is God. There's an order to these things. And he reaches over to his desk, and he hits a button. And he's like, Cirrus Ka, could you join me? And Nomi, whatever you're doing is interrupted by...
Yeah.
I hate this guy so fucking much. I'm going to talk to your supervisor. Do you know who I am?
Nice guy.
You know what? You're right. The captain is the captain. So maybe you should just plink that little button, and I'll just talk to the captain because I don't even want to talk to you. I just want to talk to your manager.
the funny thing about Yancy's logic is that he's equally likely to flip it on you and be like, no, you're not allowed to go and bother the captain. You have to deal with me. Like he doesn't.
Because I'm like this is close the fucked up thing about this. Speak to his manager. I'm like this close,
right?
To be like, I want to talk to your manager.
So yeah, Nomi, you get called. It's gonna take like 30 seconds for Nomi to get here, right? If you leave right away. So he turns back to you, Amira, and he says, As if you're not here to talk to him about anything specific, he like brings up a display, and this time he spins it so it's facing you, and you can see like the Prism News like logo on it, and it's the subtitle says like live from Dio Mikado, and you can see the big hideous like steel toaster ships, the troop transports of the Acre Corporation. And you can see that like it's a shaky cam shot from a distance of like the ship opening and corporate stormtroopers like stepping out onto the planet. And he says to you, have you seen this?
No. Where is this?
Yomikado. Those are Acre stormtroopers.
What are the corporations planning?
I have no idea. We have Imperial intelligence on it, but... And he like scowls at it and he says, this is going to cause a significant disruption to operations. Not just on Dio, but here, on the ship, on every planet. Of course, run on food provided by Acre. We can't very well go to war with all the farmers now, can we? But as far as I know, Hakani is in fine, safe condition. You really have nothing to worry about.
It's less worry and more so my mental health that has been on the fritz.
Well, we have a practitioner on board. Why don't you speak with them?
A practitioner can't cure depression, sir.
Why not? They're psychic, aren't they? And then as if on cue, the door like opens. Like, Kanomi, you walk in.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Yes, I wanted to have a conversation with you about the Amira.
I'm going to kind of give her an apologetic look and be like, I'm really sorry. It's just like an apologetic, like, I did not pull the whole, like, well, Mom said I could. I did not do that.
Right. I mean, Nomi, do you want to try to like read?
Fine, then I'm going to ask your mom.
Do you want to try to sort of read the situation and like figure out, because there's definitely some tension here that you're aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I don't want to use like a telepathic thing. Maybe just like notice, I guess. Or something.
Yeah, right. Notice with wisdom, just to kind of like get a read on the room.
That's not good.
Yeah, you're not. You get a look from the Amira you can't quite figure out, and Yancy just is Yancy. He's just like, I'm the boss. He's got this kind of like attitude that's normal for him. So you're kind of at a loss when you come in.
This is a perfect time to ask for a promotion. Your authority's being questioned. You got to bring the hammer down and be like, you know what? Can go on vacation. Also, I want to raise.
So this is the thing. Little GM tip here. What I did was I took the two of you's goals and I put them at direct opposition.
I see that. I know. This is he's getting in a pissing contest. That's why I said this. Like, Mom said I could, and Dad's like, well, who said the mom could give you that permission?
If Nomi follows through, then he might lose respect for her. But if she's like, no, fuck you, Amira, Yancy's the boss, then he might be like, yes, good, I am the boss. So anyway, you walk in, and he said, I want to have a little conversation about the Amira. It seems she believes that her duty here on the Prudence is complete. That it's time for her to head back to that corrosive little ball of dirt that House Vela calls home, and that we won't ever see her again. Is that more or less how it goes? He looks at you, Fran.
I look at the Amira, and then I look back at Yancy, and I say, that is more or less how she explained it to me. My understanding of the situation is that she was brought aboard as essentially a civilian and is now aboard a military ship, perhaps having access to things that she doesn't need to have access to. And if her attitude is that she has no desire to be a part of this crew, then I'm sure we can find other willing candidates. Especially pilots, which we have many.
We're actually running at a bit of a shortage on pilots these days. First, we lose one to terrorists. Then another has her homeworld invaded, is recalled to defend it. And now, this one's feeling sad.
Such an
Do we
asshole.
think that the Do we
He's
think
so
that the
mean to me.
Empire Do we think that the Empire operates on desire? On the things that we want for ourselves? Is that how this works? That simply because we want something, we can just have it. When I was a boy, I wanted to pilot hover cars. I thought I could become a racer. But just because we want something doesn't mean we're going to get it. But it makes sense. The Empire is run on fulfilling our duty, doing what must be done. And right now, Amira, what must be done is you staying on this ship and serving your empire.
I am not asking for a handout, merely that I performed my duties admirably on Berkman. I performed my function flawlessly. To not even have that acknowledged, or at least a leave of absence granted, I don't think I'm asking for something for free. I understand that just because I want something, I shouldn't get it, but what if I feel that I have earned it?
Officer Yancy, if you will permit me, and with the Amira's permission, and of course your permission as the lead officer in this room, I could perhaps check the Amira's mental state and provide you with a detailed synopsis of what I find based on a simple mind read. I could tell you whether or not I feel that she is fit for duty as more of a medical opinion rather than a military one.
You see him, he makes this little like micro expression of like, good, I see a way we can get out of this. It makes me feel good about everybody else being not as good as me. He says, he nods and he says to you, nearly precisely what I suggested the Amira do when she came in moments ago. If you would like to examine her mental well-being, and if you believe that she's unfit for duty, then yes, I think the appropriate thing to do would be to send her home. I have no use for broken things on my ship.
I agree.
He's such a cunt. I just want to say that.
He really is.
Don't refer to people
I've
with
been
mental
saying this forever.
health issues as broken.
Max.
He's an absolute cunt. I'm just glad everyone else is fully realizing it now.
Max, we all knew. We all
Yeah.
knew.
I knew from day one.
Oh yeah, totally. We all agree with you.
Know me, however.
Broken. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
You're broken. What? Who does that? Satan. Satan does that.
Yep. Listen, Yancy just wants everyone in the Empire to be as perfect and great as he is. He's completely already forgotten about his own tragic backstory about accidentally killing someone. So you say that, and he says to you, Nomi, well, technically the Amira's contract is between her house and mine, and between her family and the ship's captain. I do have the authority to approve or dismiss her continued operation as part of my team. And he looks at you and he says, whenever you've a report for me. We'll be in orbit around Berkman for a few days still.
As you wish. So he doesn't.
Was that everything? Yeah, he says to Kieran, was that everything?
Okay.
I nod and just kind of I don't know, exit. Okay. I don't know if that's appropriate, if that's rude, if he's done talking.
Yeah, he's basically, he's dismissed you. But Nomi, before you leave, he says, Cirrus, a moment.
So I hang back. I wait.
Okay. All right. So the Amira leaves, and he says, I know you were busy on Berkman, so you might not have seen the news. Are you aware of the situation on Mikado?
No, I was just trying to get caught up before I came here. Care to fill me in?
The Acre Corporation has been acting up. There are armed troops on one of the Minor House's planets. We had to send our Aquilan pilot home to fulfill some defense requirements. We're without a trained pilot for now, which is fine. I don't expect we're going to be getting into any combat maneuvers, not now that Berkman was so well pacified. Congratulations on that, by the way. Your attention to detail and your unwillingness to waver in the face of sentiment. Very impressive.
Thank you, sir.
The House, by which he means Crux. The House has issued a denouncement of the Acre Corporation. There have been orders to begin making arrests. And he presses a button, and an image of the ship's Acre representative appears on it. So you have like an Acre person on the ship who acts as the sort of go-between between the corporation and the various like imperial things. So this woman's face appears. I don't know. Do you think you would recognize her?
If she's like one of the top like 5 people at Acre, probably. I think Nomi would be.
No,
like,
she's just like a sub. She's just a sub director. Her name is Penelope Evangeline Lau, and you would know her because
Lau?
she was put on board. She was put on board. Same last name, yeah. She was put on board with Riley. Yeah. She was Riley's like runner, basically. She's also she's in like a relatively close relationship with the owner's representative, which is an Eridanus noble, who I don't think that you know. She's just here to make sure that the ship doesn't get like. She's essentially like an insurance claims adjuster who's just on the ship to like keep an eye on it in case something happens, so the Imperial Bank can like know whether or not they pay out the insurance on it. But the two of them are like friends, basically, and you've seen them together, and you know this Acre subdirector. And so he brings up an image of her.
But I've seen Penelope with the Amira.
I don't know. I don't know that they're necessarily like buds. We'll ask Bronze when she comes back. But so he displays this image of the subdirector, and it's her like personnel image when she came on board the ship. Okay. And he says, now we haven't been given official order to arrest the subdirector, but I thought it might be worth our time to bring her in for some questions. Subtly, if possible. And I wanted to ask your thoughts on the matter. How do you think we should handle this?
If the House wishes for me to speak with Penelope, then my duty is to serve the House. If you wish for this to be a subtle operation, then I can make sure that it's done.
And he smiles, and he nods slowly, and he says, "You've only been back on the ship a short while, and you're already up and running. Appreciate it. So, file me a report on this subdirector, and let me know how much trouble she's worth paying to, and while you're at it, what's your opinion on the Amira? I mean, personally, not professionally or medically. What do you think of her?"
She was instrumental in many of the missions that we carried out on the planet. Her help and her connections with the Trilliant Ring especially were vitally important to our success. I think that she is a person who has no true desire to be a part of the military, unlike the rest of our crew.
Well, that's factual, I suppose. Not quite what I was looking for, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Nomi doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wanted
You
like
know
gossipy
well
bitchy. He wanted gossipy bitchiness to be like, well, let me tell you about her. But yeah, he's like he kind of shakes his head and he says, right. Well, it's your team as well as mine. And if you want to keep her, just file a clean bill of health and we'll make sure she sticks around. But this could be a good excuse to get rid of her if you don't want her around. But what I said about losing a pilot, it's true. I don't want a bunch of acre ships jumping out of drive space and ambushing us. We don't have a combat pilot. I feel exposed out here. I put in a request to the house, but these things take time. You can see he's like he's frustrated. And this is like he asked Mummy and Daddy for a new pilot and they're taking too long to get back to him. Only book and he's like thinking to himself and he kind of like scowls at the carpet and he's like, only Greaves' incompetence hadn't robbed us of our Fornax pilot, we'd have a loyal and talented officer who didn't have to go running home just because the corporates have landed on their planet. This whole situation is just such entire bullshit.
I'm just kind of letting him like vent, but he didn't like.
Yeah, I think he
didn't like.
He fumes a little bit. So. Yeah, right. You recognize he's talking to himself. Yeah. And he looks up and he smiles kind of like abashedly and he says, I'm sorry, I've been processing intelligence reports for the last 8 hours. I'm a bit on edge. I meant what I said about the mission. You did well. There may be a chance to redeem Greaves after all. Looks like you just needed someone to push him around a little bit.
I do think that Officer Greaves responds well to strong leadership.
Yes. I think I did the right thing putting you in charge. Well, I'd love to continue exchanging pleasantries, but and he gestures back to his desk. Fate of the Empire calls.
As you wish, and I like go to leave. I have a question. Who is Yancy's direct superior? There was a guy that was like.
There is the Richter, yeah.
Right.
The Richter, yeah. Richter Crux Isaki Ari. The most important man on the ship, besides the captain. He's the ship's judge. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's debatable. Like, socially, they're kind of on even footing. But, yeah. Yeah, all the orders come down. The house to the Richter to Yancy, Yancy to you.
Okay. Is there a way for me to meet with the captain, or do I have to meet with the Richter first? Like,
well, you could meet with the captain directly. It would be what would be the word Yancy would use? Unorthodox to go outside the chain of command. But you know, it's not totally unacceptable. You could certainly try.
Okay. Sure. Try that.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it now, but just like so you know, at some point, like Nomi wants to try and make like an appointment with the captain.
Definitely. Okay. All right. So you let me know when you want to do that. We'll make a connect roll. But in the meantime, I just want to get the party planning commission rolling before we take a break. So Booker, what are you up to? What are you up to while all this political intrigue is going on? Okay. So hold on, Booker. When you got back to the ship, you can help me figure this out, Max. Do you think before she bailed that Cecilia would have tried to like talk to you, or would she have like left you a note that would have been like, cool, nice times for sex, peace, bye, see you later, Booker? Or like how much do you think that relationship developed? Like, would she have come and talked to you before she left? Or
I don't think she probably would have. I think note probably would have been the thing.
Text
especially
message.
if, yeah. Especially if what she had to leave for was dire, you know.
You get a text message that's just like, "Dear Booker, eggplant emoji, thumbs up, crying face, spaceship."
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you would have just got a note from her, and I actually think it would have been a little bit more sentimental than that. So you have like a recording, just like a hologram recording that she took of herself, and she's like in the middle of packing, so she comes in and out of frame a bunch of times, and she basically just says, "Book, I gotta go. I don't know if you've heard, but there's corporate troops on Dio Mikado. That's where my family lives. I gotta go back and protect the legions. I wish I could stay. We had a good time. Wish me luck." And then she does a little like kisses the camera, and then it goes off. And so that's the recording you got from her before. So you would have been above beyond everybody else. You would have known that she was leaving and why. So all that stuff that was news to them, you got from this recording that she left behind for you.
You know what? I'm gonna say too that's part of the reason that spurs Booker into wanting to have a party. Not so much because he wants to be around people, but because he wants to have a reason to drink that doesn't. So it's kind of like like the message was like, at first it like starts with like a smile, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she left me a note. And then once she realizes the nature of what it is, he's just, his smile kind of creeps away and he's like, all right, I got a drink.
Okay.
Because he knows that there's a very strong likelihood she's going to her death. Potentially.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I'm sure this whole misunderstanding between the Houses Minor and Acre Corporation will just blow over. I'm sure it's just
it'll blow over. I'm sure it won't
just saber rattling.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so what do you do? You can't hold a party all by yourself.
Yeah, it's a combination of like, he's like, well, that sucks. I want to drink, and he's like, but also. And then he thinks back to like the time that the last time he was like fairly drunk, and that was at the party that Valencio held. So he goes back to his quarters, sits down with some pen and paper because he does have a pen or a pencil and paper because he does have that. Like he likes to sometimes do that, and he just thoughts out, at least when he's trying to like plan something old school style.
Yeah.
He's just like writing shit, crossing it out. like strippers? No, we don't have those on the. He crosses it out. It's like decorations. What decorations? Shit. And then he just eventually settles on big letters, booze. Underlines that. And then it's like people to invite.
House Crux's exotic dancers are very efficient. Okay, they're good at their job. They're very technically proficient. Leave them alone. So you want to you're like, you've got these notes and you're trying to plan this thing, but you don't have anybody to like help you. You don't know where to get any of this stuff and like requisition a bunch of like booze. Like you can get your own self drunk, no problem. You're very good at that.
Yeah,
but like. What do parties?
Yeah, his mind then floats right back to the former chaplain, now Crusader Gabriel, and that's probably where he like pings him with either probably just a ping to see like if he's available for like a quick call.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think you haven't like gone back to the surface yet, Gabriel, or are you still on the surface?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I think I would want to do my thing before coming back up to the Prudence. But we can always say that happens in a flashback, because I don't think that's going to really involve anybody else. That's literally him just kind of walking in. Here's this. Unless you think I could possibly die in such a scenario.
I think that it is possible for anyone to die at any time.
Okay. So I guess I'm still on the surface then.
Yeah, I think that's the reasonable thing to assume.
I think it's possible.
I don't know what kind of trouble you're going to get into. So okay, so you call the Crusader, but his comm signal, like he's the crux, the comms unit tell you like, oh, he's down on the planet. Let me connect you. And Gabriel, where are you? Maybe you're like on a shuttle on your way to the chapel when you
to the cathedral.
Like, the cathedral. Yeah, when you get this call from Booker.
Agent Graves, excellent to hear from you. How are things on the Prudence?
They're all right, I suppose. You busy
Don't
right
sound
now?
very certain. Oh, how can I help?
Not really good at. I was thinking about I'm bored, so I was gonna drink by myself like normal, and then I thought about that thing you had a while back when you were Chaplain Valencio, and I thought maybe have one of those again. And I don't know how to throw a party, is what I'm getting at. So
you do not know how to throw a party, Agent Graves.
I know there's booze. I got that covered.
I'm sure you do. It's just a case of inviting people, and providing entertainment. I am not really in a position to help you right now, Agent Graves. I'm currently on my way to the cathedral, but you should speak with Nicola Lyra. I'm sure she will be able to help you. She helped me arrange my event, and I'm sure that you can speak with her.
Which one's Nicola?
Have you met her before? Strange girl, House Lyra. A little nervous, especially around our CRS. But a good person, I'm sure. I'm sure she'll be willing to help you.
She's not weird, is she?
Well, I couldn't possibly judge someone for their particular interests in the world, but she is a little strange, yes. But this is her job. She is the, cultural liaison? I'm not quite sure, but something along those lines. But certainly she would be the best person to speak to in my absence. I'm afraid I'm not in a position to help you much. If you want, I can send you a short list of some games that we often run at these sorts of events. There is I have a few collections of, what did the old Earthers call them? Board games. There's a small collection aboard the ship if you require them.
Oh my God, you have a couple of books and some dice, and everybody could play the ancient Earth game of Dungeons and Dragons. All right, cool. So Nomi, you're gonna play the wizard. Booker, you're a fighter, I think. Is good. It's gonna be that kind of episode. The gang plays D&D.
Data cards against the Empire is quite good, I believe.
I love that you've called the Crusader, and like he's like, I'm not Chaplain Valencio anymore. I'm like this tough badass assassin dude, and that's what I do. But like, also, I'll just help you out on the download. Don't tell anybody. Yeah. But like, here's a hold the baller party.
I love him. But yeah, so I will on my pad I will send him contact information for Nicola Lyra. And I will send him a list of church-approved games suitable for fates and parties, and other things.
Yeah, and Booker's like, "Thanks for the help."
I'm sorry I cannot help you anymore
right now. Anyways, what are you?
I am going to speak with the church authorities about how they should proceed here on Berkman. I have some things I need to say to them, but then I will be returning to the Prudence.
All right. Hope everything goes good there. Let me know if things get hairy with the church. That sounds so boring. All right. Thanks for the help.
Thank you, Graves. Save me a drink. I will be back as soon as I can.
You got it. Stay alive and all that. Bye.
And then close off comms.
Okay. All right. So Booker, you wanna go and meet with Nicola?
Yeah, he stares at like the contact information for a sec. Like, do I really want to do this?
The face comes up. The weird Lyra girl face.
I forget. Did he meet her or not? I don't remember if
she's been around a bunch,
her, right?
Yeah, she's assigned to the ship. I mean, you think that the Amira feels out of place. She is like a tangible light artist. and she basically like graduated from art school and then was like, cool, you're gonna go live on this police cruiser. She was like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. And so she's just there. And yeah, she was at the party and at the funeral, and has just been like around, but you've never directly like interacted with her in any meaningful way.
Yeah. So yeah, he probably sees the picture, and she's like smiling and maybe looks bubbly and or whatever, I don't know. And then it's just like shit. then he pings her like with just like text. Like, hey, need help with party. Booker.
I like to imagine that on the shuttle, Gabriel's just smiling to himself because he knows exactly what he's done. He's just sitting back, like watching the thing, and he's like, "Good."
Awesome. Yeah. So we cut to, and I think this is like the sort of last shot before we go to our break. So we cut to a room, and it's decorated with like purple and black velvet like drapes, and there's a bunch of like stuffed animals piled up on like a bed off to one side, and in the center of the room there's a table with a hollow display of a bunch of like trees, like hologram trees, and then in those amidst those trees are a bunch of like buildings and like satellite dishes and stuff, and we can see units, little like a giant and a little grav tank, and they're moving through the thing. It's clearly she's playing some game, and we pan back and we see Nicola, and she's like hunched over the board staring at it. And we haven't seen her in a while, so she's probably changed her hair again. It's like white with like a bluish purple like streak in it, and she's hunched over this board like staring intently. And when your message comes up, she like and like starts. And she hits it, and it opens up, and it's like it's got your message. Like, I want something about what did you say in the message? Like, I want to have a party. I need your help.
Essentially, it was like, yeah, need help planning party. Told to contact you from Gabriel, and then it just says Booker. Well, I mean, she knows.
Yeah. She looks at it and squints, reads it a couple of times, and then she smiles. She's like, "Ooh, a party." And then we cut to break. So we're gonna take a break there, and when we get back, it looks like political intrigue, priest threatening, and a party. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more for Verona right after this.